So this video is on the best places to buy an investment property in the city of Windsor, Ontario, and all around Windsor. We're going to include all of it, okay? There is an area where you can get like $1,000 to $1,500 a month cash flow, but there's a caveat, okay? I actually don't recommend buying there, okay? A big warning about that region is on the way in a little bit. Also, we're just going to talk about the areas where you can cash flow and also get the best amount of capital appreciation possible. So that area, when the market goes back up, will explode in value, okay? All that is on the way. My name is Ryan. I'm a real estate appraiser in Windsor, and I'm a real estate agent. So I deal with properties all day, every day, 6 days a week. I know what I'm doing, and I like helping people. So if you need some help figuring out where to invest in Windsor or where to buy, maybe you're looking to buy a house to live in, give me a call. My number's on the screen. People reach out to me from YouTube 5 days a week, seriously. So feel free to do that. And click like on this video. It actually helps a ton, okay? Let's get going. Okay, so let's start with Walkerville. I put Walkerville on this list because it's a very trendy neighborhood. It's very easy to rent out in that neighborhood, and I think it has pretty good capital appreciation. I mean, that name Walkerville carries some weight with it. Like, people have respect for Walkerville. For example, this just sold for $350,000. That's cheap. Like, I'm recording this when the market dipped a bit. If you're watching this at any other point and you want accurate pricing, feel free to reach out to me because this will be at a date if you're, 6 months, a year down the road. But anyway, this sold for $350,000. You could probably rent this out for $2,300 to $2,500 a month. So let's use 20% down. And let's use a 5% interest rate just as a nice round figure. Your mortgage payments are going to be around $1,800 a month, which means you're going to be cash flowing $500 to $700 every single month on a property like this, which is pretty good. That's pretty good cash flow. Now, here's the thing. The interest rates just went up. So the rent is probably going to be going up as well over the next few months and years. So you buy this now for $350,000, and for the rest of your life, it's just rents going up and likely property values going up as well. That puts you in a pretty good position. Okay, so now let's actually look at the neighborhood of Walkerville. So these streets right here that I've highlighted were the original Walkerville. And now the Walkerville name actually refers to everything in this area here. But this original area here, these were all built by a famous Detroit architect in like the early 1900s because Hiram Walker, the guy who started the whiskey factory, which is now J.P. Wiser's, and they make Canadian Club, he wanted nice houses for all his employees to live in. So these streets here are old historic Walkerville, and it's very, very, very nice, okay? Now, up here, this is the main street. Here you get lots of trendy restaurants like the Twisted Apron, Vito's, Walkerville Brewery. What else you got there? Oh, Winology. Winology is a great spot. Really cool, trendy spot. They got a lot of night markets and stuff like that go on around there. Honestly, people love to live in Walkerville, so it's a great spot to buy. So tucked behind all those restaurants are like the $1 million homes that are historic and they're large. But if you go just west of that, it's still Walkerville, but you get two things. You get either the duplexes or you get the 1.5-story family homes. Both, I think, are a really good investment. So right now, at the date of recording, you're getting houses like this, and this selling between $350,000 and $400,000. 3 beds, 1.5 bathrooms. All right. Like I said, if you're a year from now or whatever, and you want accurate pricing, feel free to reach out to me. But I'm in the present, okay, and this is what you're presently getting. And of course, with duplexes and triplexes, it gets even better. So let's take this, for example. This is a duplex, okay? And this just sold for $500,000, and it's located like walking distance from all those great restaurants that I just mentioned. This is a great spot. It's got a 3-bedroom unit in it, and it's got a 2-bedroom unit in it, which means minimum you're making or you're pulling in $3,000 a month in rent, probably more like $3,500 though, anywhere in that range. So your monthly mortgage payments with 20% down and 5% interest, you're likely going to cash flow anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month on a property like this. That's a steal. Honestly, like 3-4 months ago, that would have been going for $700,000. Things are in a really good spot right now in Windsor. But that's a great buy. Those are the things I'm talking about that you can pick up in Walkerville. And like I said, okay, cash flow is nice, but it doesn't make you rich, right? Like, you get rich from capital appreciation, from the property that you buy over the years skyrocketing in value while your tenants pay off the mortgage for you. Okay, and a property like this, located walking distance from Winology and Vito's Restaurant and Walkerville Brewery and all the night markets that happen right there on the main strip in Walkerville, that's a dynamite property that will always be going up in value if you ask me. All right, now it's sold, but if you want houses like that, and that's the kind of investment you're looking for, feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, people do it all the time. I get a lot of calls from YouTube. My number is on the screen. I can help you out. Up next, West Windsor, okay? Now, we're going to look at two things here. We're going to look at family homes, and we're going to look at student rentals, all right? First, student rentals. Student rentals have always been known as a cash cow, and the reason is because you can rent out per bedroom and make way more money. So you can buy them pretty cheap and then get $600 a month per room, okay? So this one on Partington sold for $395. It's walking distance from the university. It's got 4 bedrooms above grade and 2 below grade. So $500, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month. Not bad for something that only cost you $395 and has a pretty low mortgage payment, right? Cash cow. But things might be changing. Okay, so this is the warning that I wanted to tell you about. This is a big deal, okay? So this winter, the city of Windsor is starting a 2-year pilot program that's going to require the owners of rentals near the university to get a license in order to rent out to students, okay? Here's the problem with that, okay? Like, sure, yeah, it's going to cost you some money, $275 every year and an initial fee of almost $500. That's annoying, but I'm worried about what all is enthralled with this license, okay? Because they've already said they're going to have to get the fire department to do an inspection, and it's going to have to meet certain building codes, which sounds all well and good, but there's not enough information here for me because, and I'm waiting for an email back from the city of Windsor, so this might be out of date very quickly, but here's my concerns, okay? If the fire department's going to be looking at it, does that mean if you're renting on a per room basis that every single room has to have a fire sprinkler in it? Because they don't right now, and landlords are going to have to spend money to do that. Every basement is likely going to have an egress window, which is like, what are you talking, $3,000 per window to put in there? Plus, you get the electrical safety standards and all this other stuff that might come into play that might make you have to change the actual structure of the building to suit their needs to rent out to students on a per room basis, which might make this whole thing I just said about renting out 5 bedrooms at $600 a month, it's going to be a cash cow. That's not going to work if you have to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars just to get it ready to be able to do that, okay? So jury is still out on that right now because coming down the pipeline is the license, and the city has not been clear on totally what you're going to need. Which is why I now want to switch my attention to the West End for family rentals. So you see this area right here? It's still kind of near the university, but it's rented more to families than students, I find. Now, you're never going to have that same amount of cash flow that you do with the student rentals with a family home, but that doesn't mean it's a bad investment. It can be a very good investment. The positive thing about the West End is you're going to pick up a house for a cheaper price than you are in suburbia in LaSalle or Tecumseh or Riverside or wherever else we're going to talk about later in this video. So let's take this little house right here. It just sold for about $315,000, okay? So your debt service is going to be like $1,600 a month. It's got 3 beds. It's got 1 bathroom. Nice little family home. You're going to be able to rent that for $2,000 a month. I can say that pretty confidently. You might even get more, okay? Which means you're going to cash flow $400 a month at least. Again, that's pretty good cash flow for a little house that cost you $315,000. Where else are you buying a house for $315,000 in Ontario? That's a great price. It's a great entryway into being a landlord and owning a rental property and making some investment money for down the road. If you've made it this far in the video, do me a favor, click like, okay? Because YouTube, like, that actually matters so much. YouTubers always say it. It's because it matters. It makes YouTube show it to people. Click like, do me a favor there, and coming up, we're diving into suburbia. We got a couple really nice neighborhoods that you can get into for a decent price and make some good cash flow and have great capital appreciation. I sounded like Tony the Tiger there.
They're great.
Yeah, again, my name is Ryan. I sell real estate, and I'm a real estate appraiser. If you need any help with your investments, feel free to give me a call. So I want to touch on Forest Glade, okay? So this area is right here on your map. It was built up in the 1960s. It's known for its suburbia, really. Its winding, tree-lined streets. At that time, back splits and side splits were very popular, so there's a lot of those in the area. And what I like about those is they're less expensive. People have decided they don't love stairs. Back splits and side splits have stairs. So they typically sell for a little bit less, yet still hold good rental value. And it's in an area that, as prices go up, you're going to get good capital appreciation as well. First off, though, let's look at the semis, because there are semi-detached in this area. Some streets are better than others, but let's have a look at this one right here. So these have been selling for like $325 to $350 right now. And that's great, because you can get $2,100 to $2,300 a month rent at that low price point. That's pretty good. These semi-detached are also big. Like, in that price range, that whole, low to mid threes price range, you typically get really tiny homes, but these semis have large bedrooms and a lot of space. So again, if you're buying this and your mortgage payment's like $1,800 a month and you're renting this out for $2,200 a month, you're getting like $400 a month clearance, which isn't bad on a residential property these days. And you might even get more. Like, here's the thing with the rent right now is because the interest rates go up, the rent is also going to be going up. So I'm giving you figures that I'm sure of right now, but I'm betting that they continue to go up. So I'm telling you right now, $2,200 a month, you're clearing around $400 a month cash flow. But honestly, over the next year, that's probably going way up. And of course, so will the actual value of the house. Like this house right here, like the neighbors were selling for $500,000 back in the spring, and now you're picking them up for $350. So what do you think's going to happen when the price of housing starts to go up again? Well, this house is going to again be worth like $500,000, and you picked it up for $350. That's a great buy in my book. Plus the interest rates are plus the rental rates are going to be going up. So that's why I'm featuring these in this video. Like Ryerson is another street with semi-detached, and you get houses like this. They're not 2 stories. They're back splits, but still, they rent for $2,200, $2,300 a month, and you can pick them up for under $400,000. That's another great buy. Now, if you want like a single detached family home in Forest Glade, there's lots of those available. Let's take a look at this guy. So this one sold for $535,000. So your monthly mortgage payment is probably going to be in the $2,700 a month mark right now. You're going to get probably around $3,000 a month for this home. Now listen, I know that's only $300 cash flow, and you probably listen to like Bigger Pockets podcast and stuff like that where they go on and on about, oh, look, I'm getting $2,000 a month here because I bought it in 1986. Well, guess what? It's not 1986. And you're not going to get crazy cash flow in Ontario anymore. It's just not going to happen. But with this home right here, like you're getting a beautiful family home that's going to go up in value as the prices go up in value, and you're getting enough cash flow to carry itself, right? So it's going to pay for all its maintenance with that $300 a month that you're making, and as the rental rates go up, you'll do better. But more importantly, as the value goes up and your tenant pays down your mortgage for you, you have a great property. Okay, last but not least, let's look at the neighborhood of Riverside. So Riverside is this neighborhood right here. It's considered a pretty good neighborhood. Property values are high. It holds its value well. Crime is low. Curb appeal is great. Really good area to live in. The part of Riverside we're going to focus on is this part right here. It's mostly young families or retirees because they're small. They're 1,000 square foot ranches, but they're nice. So right now, 3 bedrooms in this area is renting anywhere between $2,500 and $2,800 a month, and that might be going up, okay? Now, this house here just sold around $450,000, and that means your monthly mortgage payment's probably going to be around the $2,400 a month mark. So again, you got a little bit of room there for some cash flow, so it pays for the property's maintenance and all that stuff, but what's more important is that you're buying a house in an area that has always been known as a nice little area for young families or retirees. It's an area where there's pride of ownership. People take care of their homes. And so you got to ask yourself, what is this going to be worth in 5 years, in 10 years, in 25 years when my mortgage is paid off and I'm retiring and I need that cash flow as my retirement income? Now, fair word of warning, Riverside was one of the areas that was plagued with flooding back in 2016 and 2017. What happened in Windsor was we got these two, they call them once-in-a-100-year storms. We just got loaded with rain, okay? And it happened in back-to-back years. Now, the sewage system at the time, or the stormwater system in Windsor, was really old, and it couldn't handle the capacity for all this rain. So you know that drain in your floor in the basement? That backed up with water from the stormwater system in a lot of houses. Thousands of people across Windsor claimed insurance claims for flooding. And then it happened again another year later. So the city went, all right, we got to do something. And they spent $5 billion. That's a lot for a city, okay? Governments spend billions, national governments, but cities rarely spend that much. So they really put a lot of money into this, and they tore up all the streets. Riverside Drive for a full year was torn up so they could install newer, updated sewers, and then they did that on a lot of the side streets as well. So the flooding problems, as far as I'm concerned, is fixed. Zero concern with flooding in this area now because the city spent the money and they addressed the problem. I'm telling you that now in case you start doing some Googling and you come across that and you wonder, hey, what happened with that? Well, there you go. There's your answer, is that problem's been fixed. So Riverside is probably one of my favorite areas for investors right now. Out of this whole list, that's probably the place I would recommend you go if you want to buy a nice little family home. You're not going to get the duplexes and the triplexes in this area. If you want that, you're going to go to Walkerville. That's a great spot for you. Walkerville, also a great spot for family homes as well. So those two are probably my favorite on this list. Again, my name is Ryan. I'm an appraiser. I'm a real estate agent. I know everything there is about buying and selling properties in this area. If you need help looking for an investment, feel free to reach out to me. My phone number is on the screen. I also have a lot of contacts with mortgage brokers and people that can help you get the lending that you need. Feel free to reach out. And if you click my channel, there's lots more videos for you. Okay? Cool.